So we were looking at how to conduct a knowledge audit, what a knowledge audit is and what it's good for. And we were looking at the word audit in a discovery, investigation, exploration point of view as a process for understanding how an organization depends upon knowledge to perform its key functions. And what kinds of knowledge gaps and what kinds of risks it has. So it involves looking across the organization at its main business activities, and then for each of those understanding how it depends upon knowledge. And when we say knowledge, we mean the more explicit forms of knowledge like documents and data. It could be skills and competencies. It could be more tacit forms of knowledge such as experience or informal networks, relationships, knowledge sharing relationships. And mapping those out in a systematic way, and then looking across those maps for two purposes. One, for the work group itself that creates the maps, to understand where its own risks around potential knowledge loss are, what kinds of major gaps, knowledge gaps it has that it needs to fill in order to be more effective in what it does, and how to improve the accessibility of certain key knowledge resources for the group. So that's for the group. And then for the organization as a whole and a KM team within the organization, they can look across these maps and they can identify patterns in dependencies on knowledge, whether it's a dependency on more tacit forms of knowledge that might, for example, require a communities of practice intervention or an expertise transfer intervention, or the more explicit forms of knowledge that might require investment in an information document sharing platform. So these maps give an overview of the current landscape of knowledge use and knowledge dependencies, and help, first of all, to give people within work groups a vocabulary and a framework for discussing their knowledge needs and knowledge plans. And then for the KM group at the enterprise level to understand where the common needs are and what the organization needs to do in knowledge management in order to achieve its strategic objectives.